mean, hearing that Sheriff, you don't want to give...
Eu confio em você, Artezinho. Tem jogador aqui por baixo, a RGL pega o primeiro. Que beleza, hein?
Here with Chet from NRG, a stolen MIBR map pick. Congratulations. Now, last time I talked to you, you talked about fixing the comms. We can't hear them, so in your estimation, has that been worked on, and what are we going to do for map 2?
I think it worked on slightly, but I'm still kind of frustrated with how some of the rounds played out. I think that first pistol, we definitely threw, like, that should have been ours. I think 4v2, it's unacceptable at our level to, like, give it away. So before our next game, for our next map, gonna talk about just having the comms, like, at a higher level, because I think we're just playing, like, we're not playing as good as we should. We won, but I'm not super happy with it.
Best luck on map 2.
Welcome back, everyone. And NRG managing to pick up the win 13-9 as we get ready for map number 2. Now, it's interesting, though, to hear Chet in that interview talk about how he was disappointed, frustrated with the circumstances. But one of the things that we were catching on really quick here, Mimi, was that the fundamentals of this NRG team were rock solid. And
in the second half, I think.
In the second half, for sure.
In the first half, I'm echoing a lot of what Chet said. I think there was a lot of mistakes. Demon 1 had like 2 kills. And I think a lot of that was that he wasn't really fully being set up, kind of sent in to die, and then Victor ended up trading out and kind of relying on a lot of the individual skill to close out. But I thought that second half was a lot more clean from NRG and more what we expect of this caliber of squad.
All things considered, I just thought that every post plant got super messy because of just like, especially the different walls that NRG were throwing. There were a lot of these on-site A walls. There's a ton to work around, and I think that ultimately what we ended up seeing was NRG fighting their way out of some pretty awkward positions. And that you definitely can look at and be like, okay, maybe for our comms are better, we can approach those fights in a better way earlier on so that we're not so isolated. Yeah. But the way they fought through against MIBR was strong.
Yeah, it felt like both teams kind of found the pinpoint of where like there's a little gap that they could hide behind or places that they could entry from. But Demon won.
Wow,
I mean, that first half he was kind of doing not much. Like you said, Mimi, he was just kind of being thrown into the
That has to be a different guy.
And getting traded. But in the second half, he did a phenomenal job of taking that space, using his operator and being super disciplined. So a lot of those fundamentals that we are talking about, we did see come to play in that second half just because of the way that they're reacting off of the information they got.
I think when NRG is at their best is when Demon 1 is on the jet and opping, and he's being early on by Crashy, set up on an angle, and then they're able to really call around that, go for re-clears in other parts of the map with Victor on the raise, and keep him as that rock. He's really trusted to do a lot on this team, and on defense when he's opping, he tends to deliver.
I mean, he starts frying, but I think it's a bigger problem in the camp of MIBR because they were not doing anything to force him off of angles. Like, there were so many rounds where I think they were approaching, whether it's like walking into B main and they're trying to pull back an Aster smoke, which should let you jump on that up, but they're swinging around the line before the smoke actually pops. Like, it seemed like there were too many of those moments that it made it too easy for Demon 1.
Yeah, NRG won pretty dominantly, but I'm not walking away from that map like super confident. They're so back. They're a top contender in the league. I still think they are one of our better teams, but it definitely came down to the slop, and they had to rely on their individuals a lot of the time to break out of it.
Yeah, I still felt like I wasn't fully convinced as well, just because the way that they were playing wasn't normally as clean as they normally are. It felt like they were kind of relying, like you said, on player skill, but also on the fact that they were abusing the fact that they knew they had better firepower. They weren't really abusing the fact that they had like a better player, better setup, better foundations. Like, it just felt a little bit more like DM.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's go ahead, though, and see what Coach Bazooka has to say as we get ready for map number 2.
Here with Bazooka from MIBR, you did lose your map pick, but it was very close, 13-9. And your calculations and estimations, if you will, was this a better MIBR than we've seen previously in Stage 1?
Yeah, I think we played a little better than the other games, and even if we've lost the match, the first map, we're good for the second one. They picked Breeze, so they need to face us now.
Best of luck.
Let me react. Honestly, I'm feeling solid about this Breeze for MIBR.
Is that your honest reaction?
That is my honest reaction.
I'm glad you want to react.
Call me a nuclear reactor. They actually call me that nice.
Okay, that's crazy.
I think when you're not favored in a game, when you're going up against a team where some of your individuals were starting to hit a little bit more, Breeze is a good map to try and flip an upset.
I usually agree with that, but after seeing what they couldn't do to deal with Demon One's op on that last map, I'm like, hold on a second now. Like, they have to be way
but
cleaner.
Artson was, you know, the highlight statistically for the team in that last map. So it's like, I do want to try and lean on that a little bit.
And we're not even talking about the head-to-head. I'm talking about, like, honestly, like, scaling protocols versus an op
Fair.
dreadful.
Yeah, good call.
With Artson, even though he was getting op kills on both sides, no one could follow up and, like, trade or get, like...
call, yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't pick up on where... So even if they got the first blood, they could not commit to finishing that round and ending it towards their favor.
And when we talk about this map as a possible upset map, it really has to rely a lot of the time on firepower, which we just haven't seen from MIBR yet, right? There were some good moments. We had a couple clutches from JZZ and RGL in that map. It was an all right performance for Artson, but again, this team is, you watch their games, and you see some solid ideas, some solid rounds, and generally good gameplay, and then a few rounds that get sloppy, and then people are whiffing out on kills, and then a game that looks winnable in the first half slips away, and that's kind of exactly what happened there.
I mean, ultimately, when I'm looking at Breeze, it's firepower, as you said, to pull off an upset, but also what are your lurk options? Because ever since they added halls back, there's like 4 or 5 different lanes that you can actually walk down. It's very hard as a team on defense, even a team on attack, to hold all of those things. You see so often a defender walk all the way down halls and start blasting people in A main is a big surprise.
Yeah, for sure. We even saw an NRG on the second half of their attack side just realized that they totally could just brute force with firepower. They were splitting mid, just jumping down ropes, executing A, executing B.
They were,
yeah, and on a map like Breeze, where you can freely do that and you're actually more encouraged to split sites and to punish any of these choke points, like, it feels like NRG kind of has the upper hand. But at the same time, I mean, MIBR, they were really good at finding those little loopholes that NRG left behind, which is what Chet was kind of talking about in that interview.
Yeah, I think you absolutely did see some of those moments. But for NRG as well, this has been, for my money, one of their strongest maps. They switched over recently to playing Ethan on the Yoru before he was on that KO. But I still think this is one of the highlights of great fundamentals for NRG, right? They're playing this Flash agent behind Demon One. They do a great job of setting him up. They've been very successful here recently.
All right, well, let's see what we end up getting for this one. I don't think we're going to get anything too different here for MIBR. Pretty much what they ran last time here. And, I mean, I think at this point now, it's just Ender just going to boil down to the really, as we were talking about, the fundamentals.
Yeah, you know? I mean, straight up, you know, it's the meta comp for a reason. They're going to be locking that one in. I do think that what they are going to have to be very aware for is Ethan's Yoru, like you were talking about, how it can get around a lot of the typical Cypher setups.
What do you make of this Yoru comp, Marina?
I think Yoru is so good when you have the dominant playstyle set up around it, because when you have like the Viper walls and the Viper pits and you need to get past all this util, it's an easy way in. And being able to support your team, especially on a player like Ethan that can throw flashes with actual purpose and capitalize on it, I think it's so good and it works.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, comboing with the Jet as well, so that you have another guy jumping into the site. The Yoru can't just be locked down on and shut down as well. I'm a big fan of these comps. I think that Yoru is, for my money, one of the champs that you need to be taking every time on Breeze.
Yeah, it gives you so many options, right? Because you can play
champs.
League of
Fire me, fire me.
It's
fire
okay.
me.
You and Zix
Kick
together.
me out of here. I'm done.
But you can play him more like just a double dive comp, similar to what we saw in Split, where both the Jet and the Yoru are pathing into site together. Sets you up a lot of cool options for faking in the mid-round. It's also a great way to circumvent the Cypher utility, get past that, and add a second layer to your hit.
And don't even forget, like, Breeze is such a big map that rotations sometimes can take a while. With that Yoru, you can speed up those rotations 10 times more. You can even show presence on one side, do a little fake out, and be on the other side. I think it works out really great, and I think Ethan definitely on that position. I've said it before. He's going to do great. We've seen him do great plays, and I feel like he actually plays Yoru with a purpose.
Do you like his Yoru or his KO better?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like against a team like MIBR, I like his Yoru better. If this was, for example, a Lev game, I would say I want his KO. Just because I feel like he needs to be in a position where he can genuinely be that initiator that can IGL around really good plays, not necessarily aggressive plays, but just like a little bit harder to read plays, getting the information that they need. But with Yoru, they can just kind of brute force the way that they were playing on Split earlier.
Yeah, I think you can also build some really cool ideas around the ultimate when you get it on Yoru.
All right, well, let's see how this second game plays out. Can NRG close it here, or will MIBR force a map 3? We're going to send it right back over to Wyatt and Uber.
Yeah, appreciate it, Golden Boy. A win there in map 1 for NRG, but Coach Chet is not exactly impressed. He feels like they still have a long way to go, and that's not good enough for him. But now they get to come here on towards Breeze, arguably NRG's best map.
I would say it is. I love what they've been doing on this map. I think the way that they've been playing with the Yoru has been really cool. And honestly, I think their best win so far this season, map specific, was this against Loud when Les was Thanos in that game.
Scrappy game.
So it was a scrappy game, but they came out ahead. And so I'm looking for them to continue a very, very high level of play here on Breeze against MIBR. What I'm looking to see is if they can win in a fashion, given they do win, that'll actually begin to satiate their fans after the hunger that they felt from the trouncing that Lev delivered to them.
A win here essentially locks them for playoffs, right? For now, that's got to be something they're happy with. Demon 1 wastes no time in heading down halls. Lit by the cam instantly.
A little bit of pressure towards A there was Ethan sending in the cologne. Marv, the one under real pressure, though, in the mid doors.
Time to get busy. Oh, he sees the gun peeking. Martin doesn't check. Now Marv, though, thought he was in the clear to go for it. But gets punished. Now we trend back towards mid here, but Victor's a little better with the ghost. He'll retreat back inside the B side. And leave MIBR in an awkward position.
MIBR burning the toast on that one. A little bit overcooked, Mitch. They get 2 kills on A, and they tried to re-wrap through mid into B. They're in a tough situation now. They have to get in. Luckily, that wall is up. Crossfire is being set up. They have to deal with Victor wrapping around main. 2 players in tunnel. This is so tough, but now it's into the 3-on-2. Both players backside. 1 cage for FRZ to play with. Luckily, that recon just cycled for JZZ. But even still, how much is this really? So tough for these MIBR players.
FRZ gets himself up on the boxes. Good here, cacophony of footsteps around him, and JZZ's trying to find an outside timing. Victor, just a little better. And then NRG, snap up another pistol.
I mean, a flattening for MIBR, Mitch. They get 2 kills on A. They really overthink the situation by trying to wrap
the map for that,
back up mid, where, I mean, yeah, they're expecting a rotate to be coming through tunnels, and it does in Victor, but tough from them. I just can't agree with that mid-round decision.
I mean, the fact that they see Victor across the map, right, he's in tunnel. So able to find a kill, and then he backs up onto the site, which MIBR choose to hit.
Not going to make a mistake that they did on the last map, though, where they bought up a couple sheriffs on the second round, because NRG, they're showing they are partial to the outlaw, especially on a map like Breeze. It's so open. The entire map is a sight line. And Demon 1, of course, one of the most prolific operator players in the game, scoped weapon players, is going to have that outlaw on hand. It's Crashies who gets the first, though, down halls, but regardless, MIBR playing it safe, and safe is the way they needed to play it.
Whole lane of the map being denied from MIBR with Crashy's positioning there. Gate Crash expired there for Ethan. Doesn't need it in that moment, though, able to win it out against RGL. And JZZ, we're taking his sweet time here, is slowly across the map. The Reaper comes for every member of MIBR. Ethan, he's steady. And he'll get the job done.
Not a single gun lost for NRG, an opportunity. Now with, frankly, a pretty decent buy to potentially win this bonus round, get out to a strong lead. Already, it feels like they're playing with a little bit of gusto on this map, a little bit of confidence on this defensive side, and I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah, staunch Hall's presence pushing up in A main. Obviously, that's the kind of round you know you have an economic advantage. Here's the bonus for NRG.
And how are they going to play this? So they're going to have Demon 1 with that Outlaw locking down the A side of the map. 2 players towards halls, one of which is Ethan, the other Crashies. And in the meantime, they're going to be content just anchoring that Cypher setup on the B side. Stacking more towards A. Crashies pushing down halls again with that Guardian. Last round was able to make that first bullet connect, not this one.
Ethan ready to reinforce with Gate Crash at B, should it be required. But MIBR have taken up residence in mid, and Artazine refusing to give up this position here towards halls. Gonna get smoked halfway down, and FRZ is starting now to probe deeper in mid.
The cam is going to be broken. Ethan doesn't have that gate crash over towards B. It is just going to be on the A side.
He had to throw up another one.
That initial one expiring, and MIBR now gathering up for this A split. It's going to be FRZ coming late through the mid doors. Getting that Viper wall up, and now big pressure on Demon 1 backside. He's going to have to back up with that Outlaw. He can't fight close.
Give up the space he does, but FRZ chomping at the bit to move up. Artazine as well.
30 seconds.
Wants to pressure Yellow. Door going to come open here, but the flash timing is good. Ethan is able to remove the jet. Demon 1, a little low here. Still with the Outlaw to hand, has to find a way to employ it. Instead shows himself above Yellow, and it's an easy pick for JZZ. Here's the plant behind the Viper wall.
Yeah, just waiting for that wall to come up to get the safe plant. As you said, FRZ still has not revealed himself at all in the mid doors. And that backstab could be more than enough to lock this thing up for MIBR.
Uncomfortable. Victor had to swing the angle, sees Ethan, no, it ends up being a trade. The Bulldog bites hard. Close there, checked by the knife, and nothing seen off that for MIBR. Get much of the scouting. Util is going for nothing here as Ethan gives it a tickle. JZZ holds his ground, and there it is. FRZ finally emerges from double door.
My man was taking his sweet time, but it was fine. They had more than enough delay with the utility. That Molly coming in late. MIBR do not get bonus. Looking now, though, Ethan, he is going to have that Yoru ult online. You know, typically it's not actually used to get any kills anymore. I yearn for the days of Tens jumping out of a Yoru ult with a shorty and vanishing.
I remember that.
As silly as it was.
On bind?
Those days are behind us. We now live in a world where the Yoru just runs around and pings people on the ground. And lo and behold, here he goes.
Well, we found MIBR, folks. Ethan spots much of this out now, trying to get back to a safe spot. It's going to be Artazine dashing onto the side, but he lands maladroitly, and it's an easy pick up for Demon 1. Back across the way here as the clone trundles in towards spawn. It's Marzine to find Marv. Spike picked up by JZZ on the other side of that cyber cage, and MIBR now beat a quick retreat to the middle of the map.
The entirety of NRG have rotated over. You can see Vic is in the spawn, just watching in case they push up into nest. Push any deeper than that.
Here.
Ethan has done a gate crash back towards spawn as well. And of course, they're content just remaining with a stack on B right. They can just go for this 4-on-3 retake. Crashies has the recon available.
They're on the move. Victor's going to get to holes pretty quickly. And the gate crash will allow Ethan to get a jump on the rotate, but Crashies goes to clear mid. FRZ waiting once more in that position. Two players for MIBR set up, and FRZ is still in the weirdest of off angles now. Potentially dangerous for Demon 1 should they come clashing in the middle part of the map, and Demon 1 seems to be aware. Whether or not that'll help in the remains, to be seen.
He knows this flank could be coming, and even just without a kill, FRZ's delay right now is so obnoxious for NRG.
Nicely done by Victor, though. That is a clean finish on JZZ. Demon 1 not able to hold the line. Marzine on site. It's just FRZ who's a long way from the action now. Can he emerge from mid doors and find something big? Bit of damage on Victor. But Ethan shuts it down. And NRG back on the road after dropping the bonus.
Victor nicely done with that rewrap into main. Clearly has been the most reliable player for NRG in this series. Absolutely. He is going off, of course. Map 1 drop was 26 on the raise, just single-handedly obliterating MIBR in so many rounds. Crucial kill at the end, but yeah, early on it was Demon 1 and that Yoru play. I mean, the state of Yoru. Just running around. Little reconnaissance mission. Worked out perfectly for them. Economy. An opportunity to get rolling here for NRG if they can make it clean. MIBR, they brought the Hero Vandal into this in the hands of Marzine. Martin with a Marshal here as well.
Once again, FRZ is on the lurk, already up through elbow here. Spike also headed in the B direction now, though MIBR have shown no signs of commitment. There'll be a little ship in the night spotting out here for two players through halls.
Ethan there had his gate crash about to expire, so he figures, why the hell not? I'm going to jump peek, see if someone shoots at me, see if I spot anyone, and just get on out of there, put a new one down, and you can see it's going into the spawn right now. Just playing nicely around his utility, and that's really what's been impressive about this comp with NRG. It's not that every time he's playing it on this map, he's dropping a million kills, but he's actually setting up his teammates incredibly well. He's got a supportive Yoru plan.
Trip's getting cleared now. Poison all thrown up to buy a bit of time, and you better believe Ethan's taking that gate crash to assist it B. FRZ slowly through tunnel. Over towards Archers here, but Crashies is going to spot him briefly. He's going to have to back up on this now. Victor deals with him. JZZ rather going down there. FRZ wants to try and keep the Archers player quiet, but Artazine has no choice but to challenge here up on the site. Neural theft there for Victor, gives him all the info that he needs. MIBR lit up like a Christmas tree, and Demon 1 comes in with a tinsel.
I mean, what can you do in a situation like that when you're hitting into the Cypher, you're hitting into the Yoru's gate crash backside, so Ethan can just snap TP right over. That is just the benefit of the agent on this map. And of course, more so on this map than others because this map is so damn big. So just being able to TP around is incredibly useful. The information that he got at the very beginning, which gives him the heads up to actually put his gate crash on the other side as well. They really are maxing out the value with this Yoru. They know, he knows how to max out the value himself, but yeah, it's interesting to watch him set up his teammates with it as well. He tries to find opportunities to get good flashes in for Demon 1 to make a proactive play on a lot of their big retakes. He'll be throwing in a clone that'll be kind of the tip of the spear scaling in. They'll go behind it really nicely. I love how they play around with this agent, and it's the reason why still this is, to me, their best map in the pool right now.
You see, sometimes like the body blocking of the clone is more important than the misdirection it could provide, right? People are wise to it, they know what it does, but you still hide behind it. NRG have conditioned MIBR, especially FRZ, to let him feel like he can walk up mid whenever. I wonder if there's going to be a change in pace there at some point to try and catch this lurking Cypher of MIBR off guard.
Or conversely, if FRZ is going to try to switch up his timing and not be wading through molasses on these lurks. I mean, not to say it hasn't paid off a couple of times, because it has. He's found a couple moments, but if he stays at that pace, NRG, they're just going to hit the gas on their retakes, and he's going to be a non-factor. They're going to be playing with a man down.
All right. Here's the group here from MIBR. This time along with their Cypher player. And maybe because they have a neural theft up, and FRZ would love to make use of it here as a part of a greater whole, the rest of his team. Here comes Artazine, straight up towards the elbow, but Victor's a little bit better. The kill trip pays off. Cyber Cage throwing up another trip, reveals another free kill for Victor. And it's all too easy for this man. Marv chimes in, but Victor, he's the conductor.
The setup is just switched up a little bit. The Cypher is just so strong, so difficult to deal with. And you just have to be, I mean, you're looking at Victor. This guy has been competing at the top level now for essentially 4 years. Played all types of different roles, has found success on all of them.
Enemy remaining.
At times I feel one of the underrated real top echelon players of the game. I think in a lot of those conversations he falls by the wayside, but really for NRG, even as much as late last year, he's been the standout for most of the time.
They may not call him food anymore, but he'd still be feasting, Wyatt. Oh, he's staying. Blood be staying. Definitely an awareness that Artazine may try and challenge this. Ooh, okay, uncharacteristic. Moment there from Demon 1, a little sloppy. Artazine getting away with 5 HP.
Hopefully can rally with a teammate to go ahead and throw that Vandal over to them. 5 HP. Not what he wants to be working with the hero rifle. I mean, how has FRZ done this? Just walked all the way down halls.
Oh my goodness.
Flanking yellow, gets the freest kill on Marv, and is able to pop the ultimate as well. Ethan's gonna have to go absolutely crazy here.
Thinking about it, here's the clone. Popped instantly, swinging off that contact. The flash from Artazine, though, turning Ethan's attention elsewhere. His teammates are on the way, but they're going to be here quick enough. Ethan's good for 1.
Spike down.
Spike drop briefly, that's going to delay any plant. And from the extremities, here comes Crashies, operator in hand. Recon to light this one up, and Victor will be there in double doors. They're going fast. They're not going to waste any time. Some spray. The spike does go down, and MIBR can retreat to these A main post-plant positions. They've left Mazin low on the sights. And yeah, he was never going to get away from that one. A shocking reception for Mazin as NRG start to encroach. Victor wants to move up. Cyber Cage is beautiful to break that angle up, but there's a slight gap. That could be his undoing. Second cage. Tickle of the spike. And from behind is JZZ. Crashes now with an operator. It's a compromising spot to be in, but he's good for one. Knows there's a second inside A main. Waiting to challenge, but FRZ, indomitable.
Stepping up massively. FRZ, again, another alert. But look at how that one pays off all the way down, back behind yellow. Not only does he get the kill,
he's like Paper Mario. He's in a walls. He's just popping out of the back of sight. It's ridiculous.
The ultimate getting popped here. And Frank, I love how they dealt with Ethan there. I mean, they threw the kitchen sink at him. They were cycling recons at him. I mean, just every piece of utility they had, they tossed his way to ensure he couldn't get more than one.
I'd be flattered.
It was nicely handled. Yeah, absolutely. You guys needed 9 pieces of utility. You just got 1 for 1 on me?
A 12-piece chicken dinner. Straight down the guslet. Nicely done by Demon One. Artazine wastes no time in getting to the site, but he is stopped in his tracks. Suppression here, though, means Demon One needs to back away. At null command. Makes it hard to have that mobility. Hey, Hunter's Fury coming through from the attackers now. JZZ looking for a light up. He's going to come away with absolutely nada. No plan.
Things have to slow down right now while the Viper fuel recharges. Just forced to play behind the pyramids quite passively. Can't peek into that op from Demon One.
Ooh, dangerous. Oh, Crushies. He's always good for one at least off that Hunter's Fury. Ethan finds the swing and the kill. It's just FRZ once more. He could be in bloody Timbuktu for all NRG know. But eventually, it doesn't matter what postcode he starts in, he's got to end up here.
I must wait a moment.
Must you? There you go, Marv spots him out from tunnel. And know exactly where this slippery sucker is.
And he's been good, but...
Oh,
come on.
30 seconds
I love how
left.
NRG played this round. After that wall is dropped from MIBR, they are just so aware of all the positioning. They don't want to wait things out. They just took the fight to them. Marv ends things there. Shot in the back of the head of FRZ, but I love the proactive Hunter's Fury from Crashies. The positions there, you know where they're going to be. You know they're going to be, you know, at Bricks, back pyramid, because where the hell else could they be? The Viper wall is down. They've got to hide. So we're sending that in. We're pressing forward. We're flashing into them. Ethan's going into them. I love this aggression.
Whereas
Great decision.
JZZ couldn't find anyone with kids.
Absolutely not. Tried his best. Knew they were back yellow, but couldn't make a connection. And Demon One, he has the operator online and on Breeze of all maps. You know he can take this thing over and run away with it.
MIBR tried to pressure him up close and personal on A. That didn't work. All right, little knifey spoony. Won't reveal anything though.
There was but a second on the last map, Mitch, towards the end, where I started to believe just a little bit that it was going to be upset day. But my hopes are dwindling right now on Breeze. NRG's map pick. They are just looking elite right here. Electric on this map.
And on this half by FRZ with the Hero Vandal.
And the consequences for an MIBR loss here, excuse me, they're dire. Right now, 0-2. If they go to 0-3, chances of qualifying through nigh impossible. They'd have to win the next 2 games. There'd have to be some screwy stuff going on with the rest of the standings. This is essentially a must-win for them. A crucial win for NRG, but a must-win for MIBR.
Bit of pressure here. Look how deep Partisan's gotten. NRG have been able to stave him up and get a freebie. JZZ can't get away from B main. Ethan sees all of this. He's peered into all 9 billion realities. And apparently all of them, NRG, are winning this round. Great flash, little bouncy bounce. Yeah, and this half by has been stuffed entirely.
Just styling on them because he can. Just because he can. I mean, I mentioned before...
You need a bit of a pick-me-up at the moment, I think.
For sure. When I'd seen this comp before, he was playing so supportively. It was nice. He was setting up other people. He had his moments, but right now, 12-3.
So guys, remember, I am playing a duelist after all.
Yeah, going for a couple clips for the montage there at the end. The confidence eco kills. You gotta get those as a duelist. And honestly, after what happened to them last week, against Lev. They need every little bit of confidence, bit of joy that they can find in this game, because the rest of their season, it doesn't get easier. I mean, they have to play against, you know, a newly rejuvenated EG, a rejuvenated 100 Thieves. They're going up against those teams when they're on their crescendo, potentially reaching their peak. So a big win here, a confident, strong win from NRG, I think has lasting effects for the rest of the stage.
This is the time to come alive. You can get your third win here and yeah, be mostly locked for those playoffs. But you know, I mean, we heard chat, they have a ton to work on. Even a victory here for them is not convincing, it's not enough to make them feel like, you know, the work they put in had been justified. Still a long way to go, but Mark's smiling because he knows he might not be eating gruel tonight, so that's nice. It's a good little mix-up, don't you think? Bit of variety.
The NRG chef, they'll finally allow them to have access to him again. I forget his name, but man, that guy makes
Chet's been hoarding the canapes in the meantime, bro.
It's MIBR on the timeout now. Only 2 rounds to their name so far in this half. And less for, I mean, there was a couple rounds where FRZ made some magic happen with the lurks, but aside from that, NRG just have their number right now. RGL at least though does have the Viper's pit, so if they can at least get into the site, maybe
that's been the problem.
Be a way to close out a round, get a third on the board.
Yeah, your tone seems awful non-committal, Doctor. Let's see what MIBR can do here. They've got themselves in elbow early. More of a passive hold towards the A side of the map. It's just this jump spot of halls that Demon 1 is frothing to take advantage of.
Again, changing up the Cypher setup is Victor. Different trips every time, something different to deal with. And you have to against the Sova too, because the predictable spots are often just going to get broken by a shock dart. And so mixing it up is crucial. If they do go for the shock darts, you want to, you know, have them waste them. Not hit your trips, not hit that setup. Droning on mid now. RMIBR trying to gain the space here, leave their options open as they are in this 1-3-1. Split into A, split into B. And they're actually going to leave Arts in over in the elbow as they regroup towards spawn. FRZ said, I'll be the jet this round. I will entry into A. You go for the late lurk, my brother.
All right. Gonna see a lot of players lit up here. Ethan a little bit stuck here. No gate crash. He is stranded.
30 seconds left.
It's up to Marv here. He's hoping someone will swing this wall, but he might have a chance to back away. That's going to come down. He'll be revealed briefly, but no one on MIBR able to capitalize. He'll hide behind yellow for now.
A little bit dangerous with the wall right now. And the retake wall is going to come up from the defensive side. And now with the fuel recharged, they feel more safe to go in. Get the plant down, pop that Viper's pit. Marv trying to gain some space, but walks into a crossfire. This one's all but sealed for MIBR.
Odyssey made his way over from elbow. Able to find that reflank through mid. That was something that Marv was not accounting for. Great round, very pivotal round here for MIBR.
Taken out.
To fight back. With 2 more following this left in the half, there's a chance to mount that recovery. Demon 1 would very much like to maintain access to this operator.
I mean, maybe FRZ and Artenu, they should swap around more often. Artenu is a little faster on that flank, got the right timing. FRZ got the entry.
Well, too shabby for a Cypher. Again, they dumped everything on top of Ethan.
What can't that man do? What can he do, Mitch? A third on the board for MIBR off the timeout. Called from Bazooka. Well done so far.
And that didn't feel overly elaborate, really.
No, not at all. I mean,
Cypher entry?
They played in, I mean, you know, they went for the 1-3-1, left their options open in the mid-round, knew that they had the pit to close things out late. Textbook stuff, and it works out. I mean, they played it as they needed to. Crossed the T's, dotted the I's, all that.
It's one of the weaker points there for the Aura when you wait the round out, right? None of those gate crashes available to reposition away from those more forward postings.
Stuck in a one and done. Can't do anything about it.
You need more than just your one. Ethan's been getting for much of this game so far.
Here.
Cone of Silence thrown up there, Demon 1. Nothing to see at elbow.
And with that cage down, FRZ is threatening that he could be pushed up elbow right now. So you see Demon 1, he has to reposition into tunnel. Keep his eyes on that area of the map. Just drawing a little bit of attention away, excuse me. And off that NRG, they want to get some more information elsewhere on the map. Drone to re-clear in halls.
Slow and steady again. Probably a little frustrating for Ethan. Oh, love that! That's the cam cleared. Poison Orb thrown up to respond here. 54 in the round.
And that cam being broken is quite pivotal too, because Victor's trips there, they don't actually negate someone from just walking in through the orb. So they have to keep their eyes on it now actively with the cam down. And off of all this chaos, MIBR, they have just worked up all the way through halls and are prepping for an A split.
And Crashy's so passive holding that halls. Arzine on top of yellow here, Snakebite, that's uncomfortable. Some singed toes, but nothing to write home about yet. It can still be a factor. But here comes Demon One. He's got the knives out, the murderous intent emanating from him. It'll be instead Crashies to find 2, and JZZ about to punch out Z's. 10 seconds left in the round. MIBR. Acceptable economy to go on with here. JZZ gets his and then heads on out.
At the end of the day, sometimes you just don't win the duels. I think we'll hopefully see it on the replay, but
you lose every duel, you don't win.
He did something to the effect of took 2 fights on the players swinging in main and killed them both. And it's tough to get an A split off when half of the split died to one guy holding the angle. Yeah, and there it is. So that's tough. Marv stepping up in that round. In a round that MIBR, up until that point, honestly, they were playing it well. I liked how they were working the B site. Yeah, they got all the way up halls. They were breaking all the util on B.
Oh
my
goodness.
Styled on. Has the rifle on the ground, too. Why not? Why not when you're rich?
Must be nice. Crashy's here, able to bounce over towards Crow's Nest. Here's the drone in mid as well.
And how do MIBR respond to this now? They have Mazine pushed up in A main. He's gotten that space at least. Ethan doing that same thing he's done previously in the game, where he's pushed up close when his gate crash was about to expire, jump peek for info, sends it over towards B. I mean, look at the distance that gate crash gets. Running a, you know,
coast to coast, baby.
Quite a marathon over there. But it might have been a little bit of false info because Mazine was tucked in the corner and Ethan didn't actually spot out anyone. Demon One as well, just the wealth on these guys.
Okay, he did get pinged there. The cloudburst wasn't quite fast enough. Also suppressed now, so stuck in this position for the time being. Very cognizant of the potential of FRZ to probe up through double door. As JTC wins the challenge, Snakebite at the feet of the fallen demon. But Ethan will stand tall instead. FRZ though getting to a dangerous spot here. Marv has to be aware of that off angle. Here's the flash. And FRZ down, he shows himself over towards stairs here. RGL tries to take the challenge, and he comes up second best. JZZ, it'll be an ignoble end to the half for MIBR. A paltry 3 attacking rounds.
The fundamentals on that round from NRG are just so drilled. I mean, what can you say? Just everything they need to be watched at the end being covered. I mean, that is filthy.
Dang, indeed.
That is absolutely nasty from Crash. Oh my god. Well, tough goings for MIBR so far.
Absolutely, and NRG eyeing off that 3rd win here. MIBR a lot to do after halftime. There's much to talk about here as well. How do MIBR bounce back? Let's hope our desk has the answers.
Thank you so much for that. All right, well, let's go ahead and dive into some of the takeaways we got here in this particular half. I see you're grooving with the beat.
Grooving.
So, you know, I'm just going to start with you, buddy. How about that, since you're feeling it already?
Oh, no, you know what? Fine, you're fine. I think Uber was saying that there was a lot to talk about, but really, I just want to talk about the Yoru here, because we were fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, Ethan's Yoru was sick throughout this half. I think the way that NRG plays around it gives him a lot more options than with the KO. The KO is so much built around getting Demon One on angle, setting him up with a flash, and re-clearing space with the knife. You can do a lot of those same ideas with the Yoru, but you also get to create plays around this ult. You have those cross-map rotations, and Ethan was just a trickster, a troublemaker for MIBR in this half.
Yeah, we even saw him setting up his TP across the map almost every single round. He was ready for every single situation, and even getting behind enemy lines somehow. We saw that one round he was trying to hide behind the Viper wall just for a second. It didn't work out, but those are the kind of plays that Ethan brings to the table when he's playing that Yoru.
It seemed like in a very similar situation to the split map that this Yoru pick was able to make the late round super chaotic, and MIBR just could not handle Ethan.
And this puts MIBR in a troublesome position. Remember, Brazil is 0-7 to start in stage 1 of VCT Americas. It has been brutal for this region, for this team thus far, and this game is looking similar. Glimmers of hope in map number 1, but that first half of Breeze was dominant for NRG, and they are running out of chances.
It just felt like MIBR could not find a way to push past Victor and Marv, just holding it down on either one of their sites, even when they were double senti. NRG's defense looking solid, but going into the attack, I want to see how that Yoru goes.
Well, MIBR have a long road to climb. Hey, if EG was able to do it, maybe they could, but to be honest, NRG look like they are hitting. Let's go ahead and send it back over to your casters to take us into that second half.
Characteristically potent defense side there from NRG. Demon 1 not even having to do too much. And here comes MIBR now getting to settle in. NRG looking to close this one out.
I'm excited to see how they're going to use this Yoru here again on the attack side. You can be so proactive with it, flashing past your Viper wall when you've gotten into the site. I'm expecting to see him in situations like that, swinging through with Demon 1 in tandem. And there is that Viper wall on A. The gate crash is going to come through. Possibly just drop the fake TP. Just cause a little bit of disarray in the defensive line here from MIBR.
Ethan here. Probing and waiting. Demon 1 much the same. Only trying to punish an overextension in halls for the time being. And they do have Victor embedded in mid. Now down to 50 seconds. This is about the timing where it's go. We're seeing that now. Poison off for the defenders, but Recon thrown out. Actually, Light Darter's in. Ooh, he just gets away, but barely. He's low, though. JZZ, always good for one. The big iron rings out across the A site. Demon 1 now has to get more aggressive. Has to try and take some space. But we stay back, but the door is open.
Left.
And NRG opt to pull out.
Wow, they're trying to peel off with 25 seconds left. They just felt like the site was ironclad. The mollies coming in from RGL, shutting them down.
There's nowhere to be.
Down. Yeah, not a soul in B, but they might get caught. The players are coming to arches pretty quick. Mazine and FRZ, they're going to be there. They might catch them at the cross, or at least be able to fight while the spike is going down. Going for a pre-take, getting fast. The Demon 1, what a shot.
Yep, the retake wall for the defenders actually allowing NRG to cross. RGL's got nothing to see, and NRG have no reason to give them freebies here. Recon out with no pings. Demon 1 likely looking to either be the bait or swing off contact here. Another Recon taken out instantly. Crashy strikes. It's just RGL versus 3. That's a good opener. But with 9 HP, it's a big ask. And the answer is no.
And bizarre, I mean, you're never winning a 1v2 with 2 guys standing on the little half wall. I mean, that's just so silly. I mean, it's good for them. I mean, you're just never expecting that peeky around the corner. I mean, you can see his crosshair. Obviously not ready for that one.
Oh, no.
I mean, oh my God, what a shot. That was a great call from NRG, though, over here on the A site. Their hit got so disconnected, despite, you know, oftentimes that recon goes in to, like, someplace backside over to the right, but it went close, catches Artzine. But despite all of that, recognizing it would have been a failed effort to try and brute force into that site, they make that pivot. A really heads-up call from Ethan, presumably the IGL for NRG this year, or you know, whomever just had spotted that out, made that realization. It was a great little mid-round call. Nets them the pistol round win. And MIBR, they are in dire straits, on the verge of potentially their stage 1 just going up in smoke.
Hang on. Oh, Ethan snips it out, or rather he hears it, but they're gonna have to make the push anyway. Okay, that's 2. Victor chiming in, and Arzine sheepishly, with a third of their HP left. Has nothing to do except emerge now into the crosshairs of your boy Crashies, who will deliver.
Those 2 not gonna overface. They don't want to make Chet mad. They're doing so well so far.
No gruel tonight.
We don't want to throw away any needless lives. Let's just clean this one up. Keep him happy.
Last player standing.
RGL shut down.
MIBR, man.
A formality.
It's been lackluster. I gotta be honest with you, Wyatt. MIBR have not learned from their last couple of losses, it feels.
Down 11-3. This is, of course, NRG's map pick, but I think there's a lot to comment on in this series as far as MIBR. Some hopes going into it. I hope that if we go back to split even, you know, they're starting on the defensive side of their map pick against a double duelist. They don't try to play into that. They don't run a Cypher or a Sentinel here on Breeze. You know, they're playing the comp that, look, it's fine, but they're not, this team, they're not playing to the meta. They're not pushing the meta forward, and that's what I want to see from these guys going forward. Because they have a good unit here. But I think that the game plan has been misguided for them in stage 1, and they're suffering the consequences of it. It's not over yet, but it's not looking good.
I like this play, by the way. Ethan can gate crash out, and alongside with the clone, it makes it sound like 3 people have tried to take position here in halls.
Just trying to seem big on that area of the map, but in reality, they are working towards the B side crashes with that drone active. Gonna begin to make some noise here, spot things out. The Viper wall is gonna come in as well. Gate crash now from Ethan.
Just flashing.
They're just trying to draw some noise, give Demon 1 and Victor an opportunity here to work up, get some space, find a pick. Not all that. 40 seconds left. You can see the spike now is actually going to begin rotating over. That's Crash. He's going back towards spawn. I mean, look at this pressure. They are just trying to get MIBR to vacate the A site, but they haven't bid on it.
30 seconds left.
Not particularly, right? In fact, we were starting to see Martin trend over towards B, but he's back. And Victor would get pinched either way. Demon 1, though, okay, gives us something to look at. Now NRG with 3 players over on A can get themselves a post plant. The setup's okay. Crashies has just cycled back into his recon now.
Here.
Marv has the 1 molly. The Demon 1 is ready to roll, getting that fan over his trouble.
Crashies now finds the perfect timing. Another duel, another win. What can MIBR do? They are on fire right now, Mitch.
What a bonus. What a bonus from NRG. Arsene shuts Crashies down, but there is not realistically enough time to clear this adequately and have a defuse. But Arsene has no choice. He has to go. Crosses the site, checks that back corner, gives it a tickle. Here's that first molly. Demon 1's down, but marked. He don't miss.
These attack rounds from NRG right now, they're looking, just the past couple have looked better than genuinely any rounds we saw last week against Lev. How they're working.
Not a high bar.
Right now. Trying to give him some credit here, Mitch. What a hater. This guy's in his hater arc. But the way they were working the map there, over towards B, all that pressure they were applying, creating space for Demon 1 and Victor was really nice. Working back. Even Chet's clapping.
He looks ecstatic.
That's the happiest
I've never seen him happy in that. This is what NRG need to be doing. Remember, a win here puts him in position for playoffs. Despite the rough result against Leviathan, they've still had 2 big wins to start off this stage. And they'll have time to build in to a new level of form come playoffs, when the stakes really get ratcheted up. Okay, here's the TP. Okay, Ethan actually took that one in. Big pressure on this site now. Hunter's Fury going to start ringing out. But Ethan's there, right at the backside for 3. And MIBR are circling the drain here, folks.
Time to jump.
They're a long way from the action. You got RGL Meister trying to come through from mid, and a long rotate from Arsene. This is all NRG swarming over the site.
At least he was able to evade that tripwire, though, regardless. Ooh, Marv was looking for a second opportunity for a free kill. Oh, pulls the trigger. 2 versus 3.
Clever.
A lot more doable.
Clears the gate, crashes while it crashes. We'll be waiting. And RGL Meister falls. It's a clean 13-3 for NRG. It's back to business. And business is good.
Listen, when you have Chet clapping after a round win, the most emotion he's shown in years, you know the NRG guys are happy. They can go home. They're going to be in a good mood. Chet's, you know, that's what it's really all about. This was a good showing for them. Split, listen, I'm not entirely convinced. Chet wasn't convinced either, as he said in the halftime interview. He was disappointed in some of the mistakes they made there. But how can you walk away from this one disappointed? They played their game plan to a T. Everything worked perfectly. the way that Ethan was using the Yoru, both individually how he was outplaying people, but the game plan around it, his rotations with it, were just stellar. I mean, this is just their map right now. I think it's really going to come down to fleshing out the rest of their pool, because look at how dynamic they are here versus watching them on Sunset last week. Like, if they can get to this level on the other maps, then now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas.
This is the kind of form that NRG look to maintain now through the rest of this stage. They got Evil Geniuses, 100 Thieves up next. No pushovers by any means, but important games for us to continue to take their temperature, to continue to put them under the microscope. As Chet made it very clear, they have a lot of work to do, a lot of development, but this is a world-class team. You've got world champions, stalwarts of the North American scene. A champion of yesteryear as well, leading them in that IGL role. This team has no business not being one of the very best in the world.
A world-class team with world-class expectations, and there's a reason that the fans, that the community have put them under so much scrutiny when this team messes up, like they did against Lev, but earning back a little bit of favor they are today. But it's not going to be enough just quite yet to rectify that, but they're on the right path. They have 2 big games left in this stage, as you mentioned, EG and 100 Thieves, 2 opponents that have developed into serious hitters at this point. 2 teams they have to be scared of, but 2 teams that no doubt they have the skill to beat if they're playing at their best.
I mean, it's worth talking about. Conversely here, MIBR have a lot to think about. There's definitely a drawing board to return to here. We're hearing a lot about, you know, this team, about who the star's going to be. Is the firepower available? Are their fundamentals good enough even to stand on equal footing with some of their opponents here in Americas? Because that is another tough loss in what is becoming a longer line of them.
Absolutely. And what I appreciate too about Breeze is that this is one of the maps where they're actually they're pushing the meta. They're innovating on this map. They're playing the Yoru, whereas some of the other maps like Split, still, I want to see some innovation here. We're stuck in 2023. Yeah, that'll work against teams like MIBR, but that's not going to work against the heavy hitters that are really driving the meta forward. And again, for me, it's just coming down to the map pool with them. If they can make more maps look like Breeze, they could be the super team that they were expected to be.
That's it. That's all on the table here. But first, let's send it down to Elizabeth down at the stage for our Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. An excellent VCT Americas casting debut, Uber and Wyatt. But I'm here with the winner of the match, Victor. The people are on their feet screaming and still screaming. We have an interview to do, friends. But first off, I want to ask you, I was watching you guys as you were celebrating or saying GG, you know, to each other. You guys didn't really look quite happy or quite satisfied. How are you feeling right now?
Well, yeah, for sure I'm happy, but it's not like a feeling where we go like, oh my God, we won,
right,
kind of thing, considering the scoreline.
Right.
But I think just for us as a team, like, we like to win, but like we're not going crazy, if you know what I mean. Like,
no, absolutely.
Like, it's our expectation to win, so like, yeah, we'll get happy, but we're not like surprised that we win.
Right. Yeah. The desk was talking about, or the casters were talking about how much scrutiny NRG is under. And we saw that with the Lev loss, that there was just constant criticism, you know, Reddit posts, whatever you want to say. One thing I did want to bring up to you that the desk brought up was a criticism of not putting you on Raze, because you are a fantastic Raze player. I don't know if you see the signs that say like, Victor, right there, Victor, Raze, please. What were your thoughts on that criticism when it was levied?
Well, the first thing I'll say is that I try not to look at these kind of like comments and like the public perception.
Right.
And I know that does like hurt players' confidence and stuff like that. So I try to stay away from it. But as far as like why am I not on Raze, we just wanted to put Max as comfortable as possible and give him as many Raze reps as possible. Like, obviously it's not going to be the greatest at the start, considering like people have like 4 years. They're 4 years ahead of him on Raze, so he's definitely not going to be the best to start. But we trust in him enough so that we're going to put him on Raze as many maps as possible, and we trust that he'll just get better in time.
On April 14th, you tweeted slowly getting into form, and then you lost to Lev 2 days later, or a couple days later. 2 days ago, you lost to Lev. Where are we now in that climb?
If I have to give it like a 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I'll say we're at like 6.
Okay.
6.5.
What do we have to work on in order to get to like a 7, 8, 9, 10?
Well, at the first round of the series, I think is a great example. It was the pistol round on Split, where we lost to 4v2 at B, and I think that's just like that round is just one of our like glaring issues. It's not obvious when we win the round, but like when we lose those kind of rounds, it's very bad.
All right.
Like losing a pistol in a 4v2 fashion, especially to start the game. That's the same thing that happened in the 11 match actually. It was on Sunset and we lost the pistol 5v3 and like they just snowballed on us and we lost, like we just got completely destroyed. So I think we have to clean up on those kind of rounds.
So one last question. I'm going to end on a happy note because it's been a lot of criticism, a lot of like do better, do better. What do you think NRG is doing well at?
I don't know. We're just
Trade secret. It's a trade secret. You don't want to tell anyone what you're working on, right? Well, thank you so much, Victor. Congratulations again. Give it up for Victor one more time. And we're going to head back to the analyst desk where Ethan, the IGL, has some words for us. So friends, please take it away.
Thank you so much for that, Elizabeth, as well as thank you, Victor, for that, too. We're joined by the IGL of NRG, Ethan, after the victory against MIBR. Excuse me, words are hard. Congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, well, you heard the question there. I actually want to pitch that over to you. You're the IGL. You're the kind of the tone setter for this team, so to speak. So I guess, you know, what does NRG... What was the question again? It was like, what is NRG doing well
right
at this moment, right? And what do you feel that currently is?
Yeah, I think we're doing a lot well. I think as a team, we're getting there every day. I think every day we're improving as a team, which is really good.
How's it been working with the guys?
It's nice. It's good. It was a rough start, obviously. Kickoff didn't go so well. But no, everyone professional-wise is kind of like the best you could ask for.
Is that kind of the vibe of the team? It's like more of the, you know, like we're going to give the constructive criticism. It's going to be a little harsh, but everything's going to be like very clear and concise.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's been playing for so long, except Demon 1, I guess.
Yeah.
So everyone knows how to be a good teammate, which is the most important thing on a team. So yeah, that's definitely the best thing about the team.
That's awesome.
I want to ask, after that Lev match, you described it in your pregame interview as the worst game the majority of your players have ever played, and that happens sometimes. What was the process with the team? What were you talking about? What were you focusing on leading up to now this second match to improve and turn things around?
Yeah, because of Super Week, we only had one day, right? So there was definitely, luckily it was a short game, both matches, 13-4, 13-4 or something like that. So not many rounds to go over and fix, but the obvious issues, they were small. They were small, and we just messed up the simple things that game. And, you know, we brushed up on it yesterday, and that's all we could really do.
Yeah, I feel like, kind of to pivot a little bit, you've always been a really big voice in all the teams you've played in, previous games as well. But now you're in this IGL role, so I want to know how you feel about it, and if you feel like your team is supporting you in that role, and who else are the voices in that team? Because you guys are all veterans, right?
Yeah, for sure. As for the help, everyone does it. Everyone's extremely helpful. Like I said, everyone's been playing the game for so long.
Yeah.
They know what they want, and they voice that to me, which is obviously very helpful. As a new IGL, and just as an IGL in general, getting a lot of voices and ideas too, because we're not perfect, so we don't know what to call every single round. That's just not realistic.
Sure.
And so, you know, they're very helpful. It's been good.
How does the energy of this team differ from EG, your previous roster, you won Champions with? Those guys, it was a lot of rookies, a lot of players who it was kind of their first big roster of that level, compared to NRG, where the majority of these guys have been there before, yourself included.
Yeah, it's definitely more of like, I mean, it's still very early compared to last year. We were together for a decent amount of time, but since I've been on the team, I just describe it as professional. I think, like you said, it is a lot of people that have been playing for a long time, a lot of vets, and it's very easy to like bounce ideas around everybody, and it also improved too, because there's no cutting corners with this team. You know, it's all very direct, which is good.
Individually, though, I want to talk about the Yoru, just because, bro, you were cooking out there. It was beautiful to watch some of those plays. How's it feel for you to just be able to have that freedom on an agent that you conventionally would not have played previously? Because it's actually pretty awesome to see you put that to task like that.
It's definitely the most fun agent in the game, maybe apart from, you know, Jet mains having their fun, but no, it's very fun to call on. Yeah. Because otherwise, if someone else played on it, there's just so many micro timings and just things you have to think about. So me having to play it and being able to call on my own timings is best case scenario. And obviously, I'm very comfortable on it.
Yeah.
How does calling on that agent differ from when you were playing KO on Breeze?
There's definitely more possibilities for like just misdirection, I'd say, because he can't be everywhere at once, right? With teleports across the map, clones, and all that. KO is a little more like direct, I'd say.
Sure.
So I mean, calling on either is fine.
Yeah, okay, fair. All right, well, seems like our community has more that they want to contribute to the discourse. So this Twitch chat question comes from Mint IE. Do you believe that Demon 1's raise is better than Victor's raise? You can, of course, shut that down right away.
No, I mean, I'll give it to Max. He puts a lot of work in.
I believe
I mean, as someone who has, only played Jet and maybe like Chamber and a couple other agents for as long as they've been playing the game, compared to a Raze that's been playing Raze for,
of course,
4 years.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be the small things are going to be better at, but no, he's definitely picked up the challenge very well, and he's a quick learner, so it's been going well.
Yeah.
That's good. I know you mentioned a little bit about small mistakes being like the big reason why you had that loss. I was gonna ask if there was a big conversation. What was the biggest thing that you guys feel like you had to fix in order to come back from that? And as well as individually, like, do you feel like there was anything that you definitely did better?
Yeah, I mean, both games ended so fast. We got owned on all of our attack sides. So defense, we couldn't really tell if there was anything wrong because we didn't really get to that point. But everything on attack, there was a couple like glaring issues that were luckily very easy to fix in one day. And that's just what we did. We just fixed very simple mistakes. So it was pretty easy.
And I think with this group of individuals, right? It's like, as you mentioned, it should be like when you have those smallest mistakes, you should just be able to chop that off right away, right? And I think that showed in the results today. I'm looking forward, of course, seeing to what is to come. It's been a long day. All right, well, let's go and see what we have in our current standings right now with the NRG win and the EG victory, which was that was something. So NRG managed to fight their way all the way up to second place in the standings. Meanwhile, EG with that one win find themselves in third at 1-3. That is, of course, the team that you are going to be playing next week. Real quick, just want to get your thoughts on that match. I'm assuming you haven't really seen much of the game since you were prepping for this one, but any like just initial thoughts when you saw the score line? Like, holy crap, that's crazy.
Yeah, we watched both games completely.
Oh, you did?
They just have it waiting in the back. So we're all watching the games. Just as a viewer, I mean, they look, when one person pops off, especially Jaw, they look very scary. And, as a team, I know what Potter can do. I know what she likes to do with, newer talent, basically that whole team. And no, they look good when people pop off for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this was a wild day for sure, but it was an exciting one without a doubt, though. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what we have coming up tomorrow for our final day of Super Week. We got an explosion effect added. Whenever I say Super Week, we get an explosion. Look, you want to say it? You want to try it? You want to try it?
Super Week.
It's a freaking superpower, man. It's incredible. All right, well, we got G2 versus Leviathan, and then it's going to be Kruvisa taking on Loud. Will be our final 2 games of the week. That is, in fact, quite super. We are going to have some pretty excellent games here. I'm looking forward to that one. But, Ethan, thank you so much for your time, brother. Appreciate you as always. Get some rest, well-deserved rest after the gauntlet that you guys had to go through these last few days. But, hey, that's what, I guess what they say, that the pressure is what creates diamonds, right?
Yes, sir.
You've already been there before, so who knows, man? Hey, always a pleasure to talk to you guys. Thank you so much, as always, to the rest of our crew. But that's going to do it for us here today. Don't worry, though. As we mentioned, there's plenty more Valorant right around the corner, and you don't want to miss it. We'll see you mañana. Thank you so much for joining us. Catch you then. Peace.
Thanks very much, Ethan.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thanks, brother. Thank you. The best day of my freaking life.
Absolute cinema.
One enemy remaining. One enemy. Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
I can feel it and sense it out. Sassy, burn to a crisp.
Okay. Tricky one, little bit of curveball. Person signed to Sentinels, born on February 18th, 1996. You want a lifeline?
Yes.
You want a lifeline? He's watching right now.
Oh, my streamer, Tarek. Let's go!
30 seconds left. One enemy.
Bang, baby!
A lot more doable. Clears the gate, crashes well, but crashes will be waiting. And RTL Meister falls.
Absolute cinema.
Step into the ring.